The families of the victims of Lucy Letby had to endure the insult of the woman who murdered their babies not bothering to turn up to hear their impact statements earlier this week. But they are not the first, OK? In fact, they are just the latest in a long line. Now, I've been speaking to the aunt of Zara Aleena. Now, Zara's murderer, Jordan McSweeney, didn't come to his sentencing hearing either. And I've got a QR code on your screen right there, and you can hover your smartphone over that and it will take you to a page where you can sign our petition. It takes you literally 30 seconds to do that. You can also go to gbnews.com/justice. A couple of things that I wanted to talk to Farah Naz, who's the aunt of Zara Aleena, about. We're going to split this interview into two parts, one part now, one part in the next hour. Firstly, to explain the human cost, of course, of what she felt like when she wasn't able to give her victim impact statement. But also, the government has said they are going to include, in the King's speech, a change of the law to make killers face real justice. I'm not satisfied with that. I know that Farah is not satisfied with that either. So what we tried to do was just draw up and design that policy for them, so that by the time November rolls around, we can go, there you go, that's what we think you need to do. Let's play the clip. Niece Zara, unfortunately, was sadly murdered by Jordan McSweeney, who was sentenced to a minimum of 38 years in prison, but refused to attend in court. I believe he refused to watch CCTV of his actions as well, hear his sentencing, or, crucially, your victim impact statement. And I just want to know, what did his no-show mean for you?
It did feel that the justice process was somehow incomplete. And this was the one invitation that we as a family had, that we'd been given to have a part to play in the justice process. We were advised, write your impact statement early, think about it, it will have an impact, take your time over this. So we did. We took the advice. We took it very seriously. My mother wrote her victim impact statement. I wrote mine, but still very much in our minds was less of how we felt, more what Zara suffered, and more of what he did to her, and how he made her suffer, and how he took her life. And so it was very difficult to write this, but we wanted to get it right. We're law-abiding citizens. We wanted to have a part to play, even though we were told by barristers that actually the court process, in the kindest possible way, they said, is nothing to do with you. And even though I accept that, and my mind accepts that, my brain accepts that, I really felt that we needed a part to play, that we needed to have some part, because we were and are the aggrieved party. Society is outraged, and that's why people came along to the vigil, and everybody's outraged. But the people that are hurt most and destroyed and have to pick up the pieces and have to learn how to breathe again are us. But the essential reason for why I think he should have been there is so that we got a chance to look at him and tell him what he did. And whether he cared or not, whether he spat as we spoke, whether he would put his fingers in his ears, whether he would sing a song, whether he would laugh, it wouldn't matter to us. We got to say his piece. We got to say our piece, and to look at him while we're saying our piece. And that would have given us something.
I think it's really interesting that you say there that you wouldn't have actually minded if he'd have kicked off in the dock, really, which I know is one of the reasons why a lot of people think that it shouldn't be essential for people to attend. There are, of course, other practical ways to nullify that. And Farah, one of my concerns with the government and other politicians saying, we'll put something in the King's speech, we'll do something about it, we want to do something about it, is we see far too often that they get bogged down in the practicalities of it, and it goes back and forth, and then years pass and we end up in this exact situation with another poor family in however long time. And I was hoping that you and I might be able to come up with a couple of solutions, right? And actually be able to maybe draw up a bit of a plan here, some practical plans that, you never know, maybe we could one day put to the government. And so what practical ideas and changes do you have in mind to create a law and reinforce a law that means that these vile, evil monsters do actually face victims' families in court, do face their sentencing in court? What are some of the plans that you might have there?
I have some very clear ideas, and I've thought about this a lot, and I've thought, what is it that we want at the end? What we want at the end is, one, for this trend to stop, two, for victims to face the offender, and three, what society wants, not just us victims, is to see justice being taken place. So a judge to look at the offender. And I think these are the three things that we need. So to get them, I think we use the art of persuasion and not force. Because I think I have said in the past, and I may have said it to you, I can't recall, I have said, drag them in kicking. But I was in a highly emotional state. And actually, I don't agree with dragging them in kicking. And I think, just as a lawyer, a barrister will say to the offender, plead guilty, you'll get 5 years off. You'll get 5 years off your tariff. And that happened in our situation. He pleaded guilty. He got 5 years off his tariff. In that same sentence, it just needs to be added, well, if you don't attend court, you get that 5 years back on.
Now stay tuned, because in the next hour I will be playing you the back half of that, where basically Farah and I do completely put together a policy that will be ready for the government to use. It's easy to be enacted, and it ensures that nobody has to go through what her family went through, what the families of Lucy Letby's victims went through. You could go on and on and on. There's a QR code on your screen right there now, which you'll be able to see if you're watching us on TV or online. You can hold your smartphone just against that, and it'll do the rest for you. Alternatively, you can go to gbnews.com/justice. What we want to do is make sure that killers face real justice, okay? And I am not just going to settle for the government saying they'll do something about it. What they will end up doing is spending ages talking about the minutiae and the small practicalities, and then arguing with each other and the opposition about exactly what this new law should look like to make killers be in court to hear the victim's impact statement and the sentencing, okay? We will design that policy for them. It has been done, and I will play you the rest of that in the later part of this show. But if you can sign our petition, then please do, because the more people that we can go to the government with and say, look, not only do we have this policy, we've got tens of thousands of people here as well backing it, that will be absolutely ideal. So thank you very much, everybody. Please do sign that petition. But